Alrighty, welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year. I hope 2026 is the best year that you're going to have, and hopefully it involves a little bit of Notion. In today's video, I'll be showing you how you can visualize and compare annual KPIs on a month-to-month basis through a simple click of a button that we call annual KPIs. We'll need three databases: annual KPIs database, a summary database, and a metrics database. The metrics database will need to be related to the summary database, like so. And then the annual KPIs database just needs two properties, metric and month, for this video. I have this line chart here because oftentimes we want to compare and contrast change over time across relative time frames. And so as you can see, January 2026 is separate from January 2025, and we can't really overlay that information within this line chart. In this case, we're just using the metrics database where I've populated dummy data by month, one per each month, and then added an arbitrary metric for our example. Even when you create a formula like so to isolate by just the month and then grouping it by that month, you kind of get this weird chart where we can't change the axis or sort it by a specific way. And so this button and workflow process will allow you to click on an annual KPI button and then populate a line chart that overlays all data on the same relative axis of January through December. As you can imagine, you can always simply group by date and group it by month just to show an aggregation like sum or other options like so. But in our case, we want to visualize it so that it's not as clunky and we don't have to switch between groups to sort of visualize the change over time. It's going to be important that every entry is related to the summaries database so that this button pulls from all those relations and then spits out a set of outputs in the annual KPIs database. What this allows us to do is we can self-select year quickly through this text property, and then even compare decades of data for a singular metric in probably less than 10 minutes with this workflow. We can use a database to store snapshots of time and automate a visualization of it with the right database view. We're going to build out the chart view within the annual KPIs to sort of mimic this, but on a better scale. We can also use parent and sub items to automatically label and relate 12 months into a year. And so the idea is this would be called 2025. And then once we enable sub items like so, this would be called January 2025, and then all the way to December. Within the annual KPIs database, it's important to set up sub items so that we can get this going. And then at the end of the day, we're standardizing the month access for comparison by year, which is not possible with a simple group feature in Notion charts using just the metrics database itself. And so even with that formula addition, that access for the chart is not helpful and non-customizable. And so this workflow addresses that. Let's get started. Basically, everything happens with a singular button and it interacts the month, metric, properties from the annual KPIs database, takes any text that you might add into the year text property, and then pulls information from all the metrics that are related to this summary entry, as we can see here. So if we go to summary, we can see 14 entries related to this annual KPI button. And so we're going to just edit this and then get started. And this is a great example where we can squeeze in a bunch of different functions and information within a singular button click. I think generally when there's a complicated process like this, I just like to add a confirmation page just so that there's one more step someone has to click on before the function executes. So I'm gonna just collapse that for now. I'm going to define a variable, and let's define the year. And the year is going to be either the text in the year property, or if not, let's just use the year of the current date or today. And so that's going to be a simple ifs formula function and say if the year property is empty, let's just use this year's date. If not, let's use that text. So we're going to do ifs empty, open parentheses, this page, and then we can click on year, close it out, add a comma because that's the condition. And if that is empty, let's use the year of today. And so today is just a function that references the current date without the time. And so we can click on today, and now we can close it out to make the year function work. And then otherwise, which is we add another comma, which is the result if the condition isn't met. That's just going to be, again, this page dot year. And let's close it out. Notice how I did very little typing besides adding the ifs and empty. And so I think they did a great job making this more intuitive and less coding heavy when it comes to sort of creating these very simple dynamic variables like even a year. So again, just going over this, if the year property is empty, we're going to use the year of today. Otherwise, we're always going to use the year text property indicated within the summary database entry. So we're going to save it, and it's titled year. So when we click on this button, we want to add a page to this annual KPIs database, and we want to actually title it the year that we just defined. So notice how if we go to the formula icon and then click on year. That question mark year dynamic variable pops up. We can save it. And so now we can use this variable that we just defined within this next step. Now we want to create 12 different months under this year. And so in order to do that, we're just going to have to unfortunately create 12 more steps to sort of create that simple relationship. Now, this is a very front-loaded creation process, but once you create it, you save a lot of time every time you click on a button. So you set it up once and then you basically don't have to touch it ever again. But at the same time, this is just a very simple workflow that I can imagine you can use for other things beyond just a singular metric, beyond just months or year, and other time intervals if you really wanted to. So we're going to create another annual KPI and we're going to title this January. And we also want to title it the year. And I'm going to use this formula icon. So I'm going to do Jan plus year. We can do that. And then we want to make sure that the parent item is the database entry that was created prior. So we go to parent item, select page added in step 3, and we've created that sort of parent to sub item relationship to this annual KPI. And as you can imagine, you can duplicate this 11 more times and do it pretty fast. But before we do that, let's define the metric that we're trying to fill within this January year metric. And so this is probably where the heavy lifting happens. And once we create this one January dynamic variable, we can basically rinse and repeat it with all other months and then kind of make it a copy paste exercise. And so basically what we're going to try to calculate is what is the metric in the month of January for the year that we've specified. And so we're going to use the map formula. We've used it in basically every other video. We're going to map the relationship of this page, and we're going to be mapping the metrics database that we've set up, and we want to filter it by a certain criteria. And so in order to do that, we're going to do the dot filter. And just for these are the viewers, I'm going to do shift enter twice, do dot filter, open parentheses, and now we have these variables pop up. We want to make sure the month of these related entries is in January. And so we want to filter it by the current date. And because we want the month to be in the month of January, we can click on the cursor, go back to current, add the month function, open it up, and then close it out at the end. And then we want to make sure that is set to 1. And so if you want to use the equals function in a Notion formula setting, you have to do double equals and then specify the number of 1 to say we're only going to pull metrics where the date is in January. And so we can close that out like so. And then let's just add the rest of the formula before we add another filter, just so that everyone understands what's going on here. Once we've filtered it by that criteria, we want to take the current dot metric, and we're basically saying we want to pull the metrics property from all the metrics database entries that are in January based on this formula. We want to close it out with a parentheses, and what this is going to output is a list of numbers as we see here, and this is going to be totally up to us. And so we want to do something with that list of numbers. And so we can take either the sum by adding dot sum or dot mean, open and close. And depending on sort of the way that you want to aggregate your metrics, we can use dot mean or dot sum at the end so that we turn a list into a singular number. So if we delete that, notice how it's a list of numbers, and then we can do sum. Now it's a singular number. So we can save that. And before I go further, I'm just going to save it so that none of that progress gets erased by accident. I'm going to go to edit automations and then go back to where we started. Let's title this January sum. And this is almost ready to go, but we're missing one thing. We're not considering the year that we defined above and whether that year is going to be current year or the specified year. In our case, there's only a dozen entries, and so that might not be relevant, but in most cases, there's going to be several years and there might be hundreds of records. And so specifying the year and the month will be really important. And this will also be really important if you're thinking about fiscal year or really want to nail down your busy season or seasonalities between certain months when you're calculating your KPIs. So we want to add another filter of year. And so we're going to move the cursor in front of the comma in front of current, shift enter twice, maybe 3 times. And we're going to add another filter similar to the way we just did this. We want to do dot filter, and let's just pull the current date again. And we want to take the year of the current date. And so add year, open it up, close it out. And then we want to set it equal to a certain number or a certain condition that we've basically already defined in some ways. In our case, if we could use this variable year that we've defined, that'd be really nice. But as you can see, we can't nest dynamically defined variables within other dynamic variables. And so what we can actually do is make sure we save it, even though it's broken. Otherwise, if you exit out, you're going to lose all that code that you just typed. You can actually just go back to the years formula, copy all of that text, go here, and then what we can do is just paste that condition. And once we paste that condition that we already wrote, we can close it out with another. We've basically used this year variable in here, but we just hard-coded condition like so. Like we said earlier, if the year property for the summary database entry is empty, let's just use the year of today. If not, let's use the specified text. This is how we're going to be able to save it and account for both year and month based on the annual KPI or the year in which we're trying to calculate KPIs. So now we have this Jan sum metric. We can go to metrics, edit as formula, and we don't even need to type anything. We just scroll down to Jan sum and then save it. We've set up now a way to create a year database entry and then a January database entry that pulls from all related entries. So let's just save it for now and then test it out. I'm gonna click on annual KPIs. We get that confirmation page. Let's see what happens. Notice how 2025 populates. Because year is empty, we can open up this nested toggle and we see January 2025. And notice how we have metric populate 5, which is what we see here, 5. I forgot to go over this earlier in the video, but I've created 12 select properties with 3-letter months from January to December. And this select property is basically what is going to allow us to overlay metrics by month and show different lines based on year. And so this is a minor detail. It's just going to take 30 seconds just to add those options. And then we have to add the January select property within this entry. So if we go back, edit automation, go to edit property, go to month, and then click on January, we're all good to go. Let's save that. I'm going to delete this, click on it again, and bam. Now we have a very easy way to populate the name of it, the month of it, and the metric of it dynamically through this button. And so let's add one for February and then create the chart view to make everything look nice. So now what we can do is click on the 3 dots, duplicate, or type Feb, change the month to February, and remove that formula. Parent item is going to be related to the thing in step 3, which is the annual KPIs. And so now we need to create the February dynamic variable like so. So what we can do here, click on the name, duplicate. I think it's really good etiquette just to name it. We go into the formula, and now we just need to change this number from 1 to 2. Save it. Now we go to metric. Now we can scroll down to February sum, save it, and now we just added February as a continued annual KPI. So we can save it. Now let's see what that looks like. I'm gonna go back to this table. Now if we go to 2025, we see 5 and 2, 5 and 2. Looks right. As you can imagine, you basically do that with all 10 months, and we can streamline that process very quickly. Now the most important part is creating a chart for the annual KPIs. We're going to copy the link to the annual KPIs database, paste it at the top, and then do new table view chart, and then click on edit chart. And so first we can click on line chart. We want to click on sub items, and this is really important. We want to do parent and sub items, and that way we can properly visualize our annual KPIs. And that's sort of a hidden setting that's worth playing around with. As you can see, there's a few other options that you can sort of explore. But in our case, we want to show months like we did, and then we want to show the metric sum. And so we see kind of that number pop up, but as you can see, the ordering of the month is all messed up. And so this is where we can go to sort by manual. And this is the small sort of setup step that requires manual stuff, but a few seconds will go a long way. And now we have a properly ordered access for months. Remember, this was a problem that we weren't able to address independently through the metrics database itself or via formula. And so this is a step forward in the right direction. Now, we also group by the parent item, in our case, the year. And so what that's going to allow us to do is indicate a color, 2025, and then show that difference across the months. Oh, and it looks like December's before November, so we can go sort by and switch that ordering real quick. Once you set up that ordering, you won't ever need to change the way that this access looks. And now we have sort of a way to visualize our metrics on an annual basis. So I've also included 2 data points from 2026. So if I remove this filter and make it next year, I have 2 entries from 2026 in January and February. This is going to help us build out that reference line here. And we can also verify that this year property works in generating a 2026 KPI. So if we type 2026 here and repeat this process with annual KPIs and click on continue, it looks like it's not working, and that's okay. And that's because probably the text of 2026 is not formatted properly to the year function that we've created. So because 2026 did not populate correctly when we added the 2026 text in the year text property, what we can try to do is actually just change the type to a number and see if that will change the output. So annual KPIs, continue. And now we have the metrics properly showing up like so. Ironically, it's 5 and 2 again compared to January 2025 and January 2026. So maybe let's change that to 1 and 6. I'm going to repopulate the entry so that we can kind of visualize it better within this setting. I'm gonna click on annual KPIs, continue, and as you can see, it populates in the visual, and now we have 2026 showing properly. So it was one property change that fixed our formula for this database button automation, and so now we can verify that we can customize year, and then we can ensure that these formulas we've created for dynamic variables work, and now we can go ahead and duplicate all of these dynamic formula sums for each month, and then create these other entries to instantaneously create everything in one click. I am not going to bother going through and showing you how to do all of those, but I'll just kind of speed run this so that we can see what the end result looks like. All right, so now I just added a dynamic variable for each month, January through December, like so. I went ahead and changed the month manually and then added a entry for each month as well. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So I can save that. Now I'm going to delete all entries from my annual KPI database. I'm going to remove the year. So now when I click on annual KPIs, let's see what happens. Boom. Now we see the metric for every month in order, and we can see that populate like so using the select properties and the metrics we've determined. As you can see, the naming convention is flawless as well as the axis, and so assuming we have 2026 data, we can easily just go to year, specify 2026, and then populate as well. I'm going to go ahead and add 10 more months of 2026 data to show you what that looks like real quick. Now that I've added dummy data for both 2025 and 2026, let's see how we can visualize and compare annual KPIs with just a couple of clicks. We can click on annual KPI, click on continue, and we can see all the data for 2025 populate simply because the year is left blank. Now if we specify 2026 as the year and click on annual KPIs, we can track those differences in data across months. So you can see how fast and easy that was. Once we did the heavy lifting within this button, we just had to create a bunch of different dynamic variables and then created a bunch of entries accordingly, mostly after we duplicated steps. And as you can imagine, we can do this with more than just one metric. Unfortunately, within a singular line chart, we can't visualize more than one metric. But as you can imagine, you could create 6 different line charts for 6 different metrics, depending on how you populate and create these dynamic variables accordingly. Each of these variables could be duplicated and measure a different metric within the metrics database, or you can manipulate entries further beyond just the sum and average. So this was rather a long one, but hopefully this can be helpful in building a KPI dashboard or performance overview and visualizing the change over time that is often overlooked and missed within a Notion workspace. I really wanted to showcase the power of one single button and one customizable property so that we can visualize and create something like this seamlessly. I highly recommend exploring what is possible so that you can kind of discover what is most relevant, meaningful, and valuable within your workspace or your organization. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I know this was kind of a more complicated one with a little bit more logic, but hopefully you could follow throughout the video. Hope you have a great year ahead. Like and subscribe if you gained something from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.